welcome everybody. As you can tell, it is 12 o'clock, and that is now time for the 12 o'clock show with Mayor Joe. Probably hearing the siren a little bit clearer because we are live on site at JFK Park, soon to become Reynoldsburg Spectacular's area of interest. So we've got a lot of things going on. So we're going to start off and kick things off with talking with Jason Carter from Heartland Bank. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I know that I'm sure when you woke up this morning you thought, you know what, the best thing I get to do today is I get to be around pumpkins and on a live Facebook broadcast. So
hey, if it's different than what I got to do on a day-to-day basis, this is enjoyable.
This is a good thing.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you coming here. I've got a couple of questions for you because, you know, obviously you are a big part of our community, and so we want to recognize that. So outside of your role at the bank, what kind of things are you involved with in the community?
So, got our hands in quite a bit. So, personally, my passion is with the military and serving the veterans. My dad was a veteran, and I kind of grew up in that environment. So, I do a lot with the honor flight and some of the local VFWs where I live. In close association with work, though, I'm a member of the Reynoldsburg Chamber. I'm also on the board of the Visitors Bureau, and active member in the Reynoldsburg Community Association. So, which again,
I was going to say that pretty much leads right into all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So the event this Saturday. So looking forward to it. Be my first time inaugural. But everyone talks about how wonderful of an event it is, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
It's a lot of fun, and it's the community aspect. It comes, you know, people from all over and all of their costumes, you know, young kids and adults will be in dress and all of that, so that's always a good thing.
You're never too old to do that.
See, I told you. I told you. That's what I keep telling everybody.
Yeah.
So what are some other upcoming events that you want people to know about?
So obviously it's the big one this Saturday, the Halloween party with the Community Association right here at JF Park at 5 to 8. Free event for the city, a lot going on, DJ, food, treat trail, hay rides, things like that. It's going to be a ton of fun. And then just to reflect back, a few weeks ago we were part of the Diwali Tahar Festival.
Yes.
Again, another inaugural for us this year. That was a blast. It was a long day in terms of hours, but it didn't feel like a long day. It was a lot of fun. We were right next to the stage, so we had really good concert tickets, if you will. That was awesome. It was a good time, and what I really appreciated from that was the level of respect that those hosting the event had to their sponsors and the appreciation that they had for them. So that was really, really nice. Going forward, the Community Association will also have Christmas on the Town coming up with that, and then I will more than likely be part or chairing the 4th of July parade next year. So,
so he drew the short straw for America 250. So
I did. Well, I made the mistake of telling Chuck that I'm very passionate with the military. He's like, "And you're my guy. Like you're going to do this." So
you learned your lesson, didn't you?
Yes. Very much.
Well, it'll be a good thing, and there's a lot of coordination between the city and obviously because this is not just any 4th of July. It's going to be a much redder, whiter, and bluer type of an event all the way across. So overall, you know, whether it's with the community station or in general with Heartland, what are some of your goals? What are the things that you're looking to accomplish?
Well, the biggest thing is, you know, Heartland just went through a big announcement back in April where they merged with German American Bank, so we're now a division of them. And just with any big event like that, you got some hiccups along the way. We really want to make sure that the community understands that we are still committed to Reynoldsburg. I've been here for roughly 30 years. You know, not only just the city and its officials, but also, you know, the community itself and helping our customers, helping local businesses. And then we want to make sure that we're going to be a part of the community, so getting involved in all the other aspects that we're doing. And just letting customers know that we're still here. We're still Heartland. That part of things never changed, and we're committed as ever.
Well, we appreciate that. I mean, I know we've had conversation with, you know, at the chamber, just the importance of our small businesses. You know, Reynoldsburg does have some great large-scale employers, but it's our small businesses that are kind of like the lifeline to everything.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. So if somebody wants to reach out to you either for community association stuff or, hey, maybe they have some banking needs or anything like that, how do they get in touch with you?
Easiest way is email, because I'm not always at my desk if I'm out doing stuff within the community.
You're out on the 12 o'clock Facebook show?
You know, I got Oprah after this. And so email is the best way to reach me. So it's my first name, Jason, Jason, .Carter, CARDER, @GermanAmerican.com. That's the best way to reach me. Hits my phone, hits my watch, hits my laptop. So
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming out, especially on an on-site location, and with the big things coming up for Halloween, which of course is my favorite holiday. And
Yes.
we try and extend that as much. I think it was a week ago last week. We were trying to prep for getting ready for our homecoming parade, where I get to dress up as Shrek a little bit.
I saw you there.
Yeah. So that's always
Yes.
it's always a fun thing. Some people saw me and recognized me, some people not so much.
I again, rookie mistake. I wore my dress shoes for that walk.
No.
That's
Even
won't happen again.
even Shrek was wearing some Nikes, so we're just
Yes.
just to be on the safe side. So.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much,
Mayor Joe. Appreciate it.
Definitely
Appreciate
see
you having
you.
me.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, as we are on site, we are going to go ahead and we're going to move a little bit. So, little Mr. Rogers action here. Come on over this way. We've got some cool things going on because it is Halloween weekend in the Burg. We've already started with a couple of cool things with our scarecrows, but now we are going to go ahead and turn it over to Reynoldsburg's own Deane Arnold as he is carving a pretty fantastic face so far. I like it. Oh, just a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate that. Always good to have a little extra.
Hang on to that because I'm going to need that.
You're going to put it back on there sometime? No problem. Well,
How are you?
I'm doing great. This is my favorite time of the year. It's you've got football, you've got baseball, you've got all this wonderful weather, you've got apple picking, pumpkins, and of course, obviously Halloween. So I am all good to go with all sorts of stuff.
This is my time of the year. That's for sure.
I figured this is probably the busiest time of the year for you.
It is the busiest time. I'll sleep in November and December, and then I'll come back to life in January, and I'll start it all over again for the next year.
There we go.
September and October, that's the Olympics.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's an endurance race at that
Yeah.
point, too. Well, I appreciate you coming out because obviously we've got a lot of things going on. So please continue to work as we go through. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you've been on TV, you're in Food Wars and all of these other different things. So tell us to everybody who's watching a little bit more about where you're coming from and what you're doing.
Okay, well, let's see where to start. First of all, Food Wars is actually Halloween Wars.
Halloween Wars.
On Food Network. I competed in season 10, kind of as an afterthought because I had bigger projects going on that year, and I worked for the show. The other Food Network show is. I'm sorry, I'm completely blasted right now with I'm just tired. Not blasted. Yeah, tired and blasted. Oh God, I'm embarrassing myself already. Okay, here we go.
Take two.
Take two. We'll edit this in post. Yes.
We'll go with it.
There are a lot of Halloween programming shows on Food Network. There's Halloween Baking Championship. There's Halloween Wars. There's Outrageous Pumpkins. Outrageous Pumpkins is that's the one that means the most to me. I work for the production company. I'm the behind the scenes pumpkin carver, consultant, lighting. I assist when the contestants finish their final display, and we light it all up. The professionals get it all lit up and get it ready to video and everything, and I'll come in and tell them everything that they did wrong, and you got to move this, you got to move that, blah, blah, blah. They love me. I also, in season 5, I appeared as a guest judge. So I actually did get some camera time in season 5, which I think is currently airing this year. The team that I've got coming in with me this weekend I've got 2 other Food Network pumpkin artists. Ethan Anderson is the Outrageous Pumpkins All-Star Champion from season 5. Anthony Pater is currently competing on Halloween Wars on Food Network. This is his 2nd appearance on Halloween Wars. I think he was on 2 or 3 years ago. He's the youngest contestant who's been on the show in a long time. He may be the youngest ever. And I'm really excited about this. I've worked with Dmitry Klemenko in the past. We used to carve pumpkins together at an event in Arizona. Dmitry has become one of my best friends, but the main thing about him is that he's an international sand sculptor. He does sand and ice sculptures all around the world. Massive things. The pavilion that we're standing in right here could be one of his displays. Okay. It's impossible to describe. So I'm hoping that we can get some links up there to show some of his work. He's spectacular, and he's going to be here with us. So we've got some giants. We've got these faces that I'm carving. I'm going to have them in tanks around the pavilion, and the giants are going to be carved up. We're going to have two main displays where Ethan and Anthony carve one of them, and Dimitri and I carve the other.
All right, so this, because I'm curious, so do you guys have an idea of like, do you have an inspiration of what you're going to do, or is it going to be one of those things you're going to come here and talk about it and kind of go and let the hand draw you?
That.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I over prepare things and then I toss it all aside at the last minute.
Okay.
I realize I've overthought it, or I didn't forget. I forgot something, and then I get the pumpkin and I look at it and I'm like, well, that doesn't look like what I had in mind. What can I do with that?
Okay.
And then I wind up doing something totally different.
Well, I figured that that's what it was, because I know somebody's probably going to ask, okay, what are they going to look like this year? Because if you've seen them over the last 2 years, been pretty cool things to look at. Nothing too grotesque or anything for those that are like, no kids are running away screaming from it, so that's always a good thing.
We considered it.
There's always options.
I get rejected.
Yeah, you never know. We can find out this year. So, do you have a favorite pumpkin that you've ever done? Like something, the design that you went back and when you were done, and I know that everybody feels that they could always improve upon this stuff, but if there's something you're like, this is the closest I've ever gotten to what I feel is, that hit what my image for the pumpkin would be.
Let me try to answer that in 2 parts. The first part, kind of flippantly, who's your favorite child?
Yeah.
I love them all. I mean, I look back over the years and I realize, I've improved from when I started. But I look back at some of the early ones and I'm happy to share them. I still think they're really good. Honestly, though, my favorite pumpkin is usually the one that I'm working on.
Okay.
I get excited about it, and then I finish it, and I take a bunch of pictures of it, and then I start working on the next one, and the next one makes me excited. So they're all good.
Well, that's always a good thing. I can imagine from an artistic point of view that's exactly what it would be.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy the process of doing this. I don't like jumping to the end and getting it finished, because when I finish, I stop, and I'm not having fun anymore. So,
have you ever considered government? Because that's what we do. We just keep going and just keeps moving on. We never finish anything. Just kidding. We are going to.
I was going to give you another hand.
Handful of that. Yeah.
So here, hold this. I have no. I have nothing but flippant answers to that. You don't want any.
No,
of
that's fine. We'll go ahead.
You don't want any of those. So, on that note, though, and when people are watching me work, and I hear a lot of different things, and I'll hear people ask, "Is it so and so? Is it so and so? Have you ever considered doing so and so and likenesses?" I don't like doing likenesses, partly because they take so long to get accurate. But I found that when people ask about political things, it's divisive, and I don't like that. At a family event, why start a fist fight? So I you want to box?
No, it's just one of those fun things. Always a fun thing when the families get together.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I know everybody, especially sometimes it's always when I look at the pumpkins in the containers, it just reminds me of the old cartoon show as Futurama, where they have the various people and presidents in their heads and things like that. So that's why I always kind of get a kick out of it if that's the case. But I can see that would probably just be an easier way just to, let alone trademark issues or anything like that.
Well, and also on your point about not being too scary for families, and I agree with you on that. I'm more interested in whimsy than I am in fear. And there was one event that I did years ago. A lot of people making comments around, and sometimes I would answer questions, and sometimes I just let people talk. But I heard a mother saying, "Oh, this looks a little on the scary side." I don't know. I wasn't even carving it. I think it was I think it might have been Deane. I think it might have been Dimitri who was carving a monster or a zombie or something like that. And the mother said, "That looks a little scary. Are you okay?" And the 5-year-old boy who was with her said, "Mommy, it's a pumpkin. How scary can that be?"
That's a lesson of life for everybody. I think kids tend to be more okay with things than their parents realize.
Well, they are, and I don't want to diminish the concerns of parents. I'm a parent, but the kids are generally more comfortable with more things than parents are aware of.
No, I don't doubt it. So you mentioned kids, so that's going to be things. So let's say that somebody comes over this weekend and they're participating in doing some pumpkin carving. They're watching this and they sit there and say, what, I want to be the next youngest person on Halloween Wars or something like that. Do you have any advice or any thoughts to what you would say to them if they're interested in that?
Well, in terms of being the next youngest, I would point them to Anthony, because he's going to be standing right here working. and he is the youngest. He's the youngest this season. But in terms of just pursuing sculpting, craft, carving, art in general, creativity in general, I encourage that across the board. Creativity is it's a personal thing, it's a collaborative thing, and no one learns in a vacuum. There's no such thing as being self-taught at anything. And so if somebody wants to get started in this thing, I'll show them how to use the tools. And I'll encourage them to use the tools. And the main thing is that I encourage people to not be frustrated with mistakes. Mistakes are learning opportunities across the board. Success doesn't teach you very much.
No.
My first pumpkin, if it had been like my most recent pumpkin, I would have been thrilled with it, but I wouldn't have known how I got there.
Yeah.
If I make the mistakes and then I went, oh, I sliced his nose off. How can I not slice his nose off next time? You learn from that kind of stuff. So the pumpkin carving community, and unbelievably there is a pumpkin carving community. It's just like strange little subculture of life. We're all very supportive of each other.
That's good.
One of the things that you see on the Food Network shows on Halloween Wars is the rivalries and the conflict and all this stuff.
You
And
gotta manufacture a little drama.
Well, a lot of it isn't manufactured, but it's amplified. It's edited a certain way because it has to appeal to an audience who wants to feel the excitement. But one of the things that's great about Outrageous Pumpkins in particular is even though the contestants are competing, and one of them will go home at the end of every episode, one of them will be eliminated, none of them want that to happen. They all want to win,
Yeah.
but none of them want their friends to go home because we're learning from each other. I can't wait to see what Anthony does. I can't wait to see what Ethan does. I could never wait to see what Dimitri does. He doesn't compete on the Food Network stuff. But there are pumpkin carvers all over the place. We all pay attention to what each other does, and what each other does. Grammar. Words are hard.
It's all right. I've been told this is a judgment-free zone, so we're all good.
Oh, good. You will be editing this in post, right? That's a joke. Sorry. Anyway, sorry, ask me another question before I babble more.
No, that's fine. So tell us about this weekend. So what's going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday? So how's it all playing out?
Well, I'm not personally paying attention to the weekend because I'm already here working. I'm going to be working late at night. I'm going to be here early in the morning, and I'll be here on and off all week. Friday morning, the team comes in from various places, and we all get together and we will examine the Giants. Have you shown the Giants yet on the show?
No, I don't think we've gone. I think that's what we'll do as a quick little.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll take a look at each of the Atlantics. They're called Atlantic Giants. That's the breed. We'll take a look at each of the Atlantics and decide how do we want to position it, how does it fit in with the theme and the designs that we have in mind, or whether or not we need to come up with something new. And then we'll get to work on it immediately, and we will probably be working until late Sunday night.
All right.
So the event is Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I think, is the day where all the vendors,
All the vendors are coming
and food
and-
trucks and whatever else.
Yeah.
How the costume party and all that. We'll be working through all of that, and we're here in the pavilion. Come visit us.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know we'll see each other a bunch over there the next couple of days, but thank you very much.
You're gonna be dressed up in a great big green costume.
No, I did that last time, so I can't do that again. That was just the other week. I have not decided what I'm doing because I know we were going to have some Jurassic Park stuff here on Saturday, but we did that last year, so I don't know if I want to do that again or if my wife and I are going to dress up in something different.
They have a mask for you.
Those are depending on what the mask looks like.
Are you claustrophobic?
No, I'm not claustrophobic. It's just a question of what the mask looks like. Because I know these days there's
I'll
some
show you.
amazing things. All right, sounds
show
good. All right, well, we'll see you as we kind of go on.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer, so let's go ahead and kind of mosey on back. Do we have any questions or anything that have popped in?
Not yet.
All right. So obviously got a lot of other things going on in the community, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You may notice some technical defibrillations here a little bit as we get our everything back in the podium. So Reynoldsburg City Schools has their next board meeting. That'll be next week on Tuesday right here at City Hall at 6:30. And I wanted to say a special shout out to Reynoldsburg City Schools, but specifically French Run Elementary School. Yesterday I had the opportunity, along with Chief Baker, to be principal for a day, something that when I was teaching would probably never happen. But I had the opportunity to go to French Run and go in and talk to all of the students. We went and visited all the different classrooms, first kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. It was interesting to see the difference in questions that were being asked. Some questions were, how old are you? And then other questions were related to like what my day-to-day life is with the job. But what was really cool about this is I ended up getting a very specific challenge coin for participating from French Run from Principal Fetty, so I do appreciate that. And they're going to be back here in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and post that so you can kind of show. This was a cool thing that was given to me just for recognition of a lot of different things that we've got going on at French Run. So thank you very much again for providing that opportunity. We were at French Run, but I know we had Congresswoman Beatty was here. I know we had a number of other dignitaries, members of council, all the way across, kind of just seeing a little bit of what it's like. Now, for me, it was easy because I used to be a teacher. Elementary school, not so much. Glad I would always teach high school, but it was definitely cool to see some of those interesting things going on. A couple other things about it, though, that jumped out. There was again, we all know social media, and everything, of course, is true on social media. We all acknowledge that. But there was a thing a day or two ago about concerns that there was an incident in one of the schools and a gun was involved or something like that. So just kind of let me be very clear from the city's point of view about what goes on. If that actually does happen, we actually report it. We may not report, the specific students' names or anything else like that, but if a gun is found on property, we will report that because it has to be reported, and then it kind of goes from there. The schools have a little bit different when it comes to certain things as far as what they're going to release, and that's their kind of choice on those matters. But if there was actually a gun there, that's it. I know the superintendent and I have had lots of conversations about, anytime that word is used, whether it's, that they may have one, they think there's one, or there is one, or something along those lines, that's when RPD comes in and takes care of what they need to take care of. So again, there wasn't one, but I get that's always like the rumor that's out there that something happened and this is what it was. So just letting you know, no, it wasn't. Other kind of things have come up. If you noticed on Monday, our social media page blew up a little bit. We recognized for the third, fourth year, Indigenous Peoples Day, and there were some people who were very happy about that, and there were obviously some people who were less than happy about that. As a former history teacher, I could probably talk and teach a decent seminar on Columbus and his impact and what the legacy was and things of that nature, but that doesn't going to be anything that I'm going to do right here. Just needless to say, as a city, we decided to embrace the idea of Indigenous people, especially in the state of Ohio, where many Native American tribes have been, and we want to recognize that. That doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the technical things that Columbus did as far as getting here, even though this is obviously not where he was looking for, and everything else that they're after. We did make a joke. It was almost in today's world where I said I was going to go to Pickerington and take the Reynoldsburg flag and claim Pickerington because I had discovered it. That would be about the extent of it. Something tells me the mayor over there would probably be less than enthusiastic about that if I did that. So in the meantime, Indigenous Peoples Day will be out there, and obviously if people have questions about should we also celebrate Columbus Day, you know what? Let's have a conversation about that. Let's talk about, are we celebrating Christopher Columbus or are we celebrating Italian heritage? Because those are two, in my opinion, two separate topics. There's nothing wrong with celebrating Italian heritage all the way across. I just don't know if Christopher Columbus would be that specific person that would be the best choice for that. But that's just my opinion, and I love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Also, a topic came up a little bit about this whole conservative versus liberal voice on social media and things of that nature. And sometimes it's easy for me to kind of avoid the idea and think that are we really being one-sided or the not. And obviously there's some topics that are out there when we talk about Pride Day, or if we talk about some of our diversity experiences, the Diwali festival and whatnot. But at the same time, we also recognize 9/11. We recognize Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Armed Forces Day, Flag Day, and a number of other different things all the way across. So I don't necessarily feel that there is or is not a specific voice or recognition of anything. That being said, maybe that's something that I am missing. But I think the best way to deal with that is probably, you know, and one individual did. They actually called in, and maybe we'll have a conversation in the future about what that looks like to make sure that all sides are represented. Again, as mayor, I'm not just mayor of the people that always agree with me, because that would be like 3 people, but it's the mayor of everybody within the city, and so I will represent everything all the way across, which is why we have all of these various activities all the way throughout the entire city, recognizing all the different diversity that we have in here, all the Americana, all the diversity, all of the recognition, whether it's the Diwali community for Diwali or whether it's the Macedonian community and things of that nature. So there isn't just one viewpoint here. It is actually inclusive of all. So that's just my thoughts, but again, we'll hear about that later on. Some other things going on. Again, Shop with a Cop is still out there. RPD is taking gift cards until November 25th. We also have a blood drive at RPD on November 19th. I'll be there. So if you want to go sit and share and give blood with me while we're out there, we can race and see who gets done first. That's always a fun thing. Wagner Road is progressing along. For those of you that drive Wagner Road, you should be having a much smoother drive today, because earlier this week that did flip over there. So we've got that going on. So now that they've started that particular process of switching everything, now they're going to be working on the other side of the road, so you'll probably see some of that stuff being torn up. They're just going to try and make sure that everybody has access to get into where they need to on that particular road. Leaf collection is going to start soon. We're waiting on a couple of little items to come back in there. Once they come in, we should be good to go. So keep an eye on that. Probably, hopefully next week, we'll get that start going. Anything coming up? Any questions? All right. Our paving program in Licking County should be starting soon. I know they've done the curb work. I think they're just waiting to make sure that the curb work is completely solidified and done, and then we'll go ahead and get into that asphalt stuff. And then we're hoping to have our street program for next year. We'll probably talk about it towards the end of the year during budget season, but that'll get bid out early next year to move on from there. For Parks and Recreation, we have our Mel Clemens Community Service Award. So I know there are people out there that do a great job with our community, and they would be great nominees for this award. Again, somebody who's done something for the community over the last year that you would like to nominate, please go ahead and check out the Reynoldsburg website, and they'll go ahead and provide the information on that one. And again, in addition to all the other things going on this weekend here at Hollow Weekend in the Burg, you also have a great event at Civic Park. It's going to be from 10 to 12. It's a little bit of trash pickup and some removal of some invasive plants out at Civic Park. So when you go into Civic Park, it'll be kind of in the midsection. Trust me, you'll see a truck out there, and just follow the people walking, because they're probably all trying to get the donuts from Jolly Pirate, so they'll be there as well. Good news is Bryce Park is pretty much done. The sign is going to be in the next week, so we're going to have some kind of a soft grand opening for Bryce Park. Again, that's right across the street from the new library on on Bryce Road. So come on out there. We'll have that out there in just a little bit. So it's a good thing. It's a project that took about 2 years longer than it needed to, but we are getting it in, and it's our park that is our furthest western park, and for Columbus, it's its furthest eastern park. So we'll have that in there. This weekend, we also have Saturday from 10 to 2, the Reynoldsburg Turo Historical Society open house is going to be this weekend, so hopefully people can join that as well. If you haven't seen some of the scarecrows around Reynoldsburg, keep an eye out. They are out there. A lot of them are right here in JFK Park, but there's a number of them out there, including, I think, our newly formed reading group has had one, and so there's a couple of other ones out there. We're trying to figure out, we just have not had time for the mayor's office to come up with something, and it's hard. We're going to figure something out. Scarecrow City's on, so you can do that. We also have everything going on here for the Reynoldsburg Community Association. As you heard, everything from the treat trail to games to a contest for costumes that doesn't include adult people because boo. But they'll have all sorts of things out there for that, in addition to what we've got going on with all the pumpkin carving. The Haunted Vendor Valley is going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. Lots of spooky stuff, and probably other stuff that isn't so spooky will be for sale, so go ahead and check that out. And then Sunday is going to be the pet parade on the 19th from 1 to 3 p.m., and it's going to be right here. There'll be a little bit of a pet parade, so if you have some things that you want to dress up. I wanted to, but some people objected to the idea that we would dress our little fluff ball, that Pepper, that's a Pomeranian. They have a Shrek costume for that, and it would have been a little mini Shrek with me being Shrek, but it didn't work out for any unknown reason. So we got that. Other events coming up. We've got the Super Braxton 5K on November 1st at Summit Campus. Kids are going to run at 9 o'clock. Everyone else runs at 9:30. And then we've got the cash drop. So most of our fall sports are winding up. So now we're going to go ahead and move into the winter sports. So we've got the boys basketball team on Saturday the 18th doing a cash drop. And then next Saturday on the 25th, we've got the girls basketball team out there doing the same thing. Any questions, comments, anything?
No.
Do we have a connection? I'm just curious.
We do.
Okay, because I didn't know, because otherwise this is going to be one of those things we really can go back and edit some stuff. But, all right, so there's no questions. That's fine. So the next week, we're going to have, on the 22nd, we'll have Reynoldsburg Director of Development, Eric Meyer, who will probably tell us some thrilling things about zoning. No, I'm just kidding. It'll probably be a little bit about zoning, but some other things as well. Talk about some of the stuff that's coming up. Obviously, we've got a lot of different things going on. Maybe get a couple of updates on some projects. Obviously, we know the Alliance is moving on and some other different things. So he'll be here next week. So go ahead and brace yourself for that excitement. It's going to be a lot of fun. Any other questions, obviously shoot them in during the week. Obviously, social media, I'm happy to respond to a lot of things, but sometimes it's even better just to meet with people. I actually asked somebody today to meet for a cup of coffee to talk about a couple things. With that, thank you very much to Heartland Bank and Jason for coming out there. Thank you to Deane for being out here and carving everything and throwing some pumpkin guts my way. That's always a good thing because, you know, that awkward moment of, there you go. What do you do with them? We'll be here all weekend long. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody else, stay safe, stay respectful, and as always, please put your shopping carts away. And remember, there's only a couple more weeks before the election, so soon all that fun will be over. Have a great time, everybody. We'll see you next week.